Oh. Welcome to HOIA, Healthy, Organic, Inspired Asian Food and Cooking. I'm Diane Yang Kirk, and on today's episode, we will be making a chicken sweet corn soup. This soup is one of my favorite items on a Chinese menu, but it's also one of my favorite things to make at home because it's so easy. And I promise during this episode, I won't be making any corny jokes. Too late. HOIA! For chicken sweet corn soup, you need chicken. I'm poaching some chicken, but if you have some rotisserie chicken or barbecue chicken that you can find at the grocery store, that's also an amazing shortcut. It doesn't take too long to do this. I have a medium-sized pot and it is boiling. I'm gonna place my chicken breast into it so it can poach. Once the water comes to boil again, I'm going to turn down the flame to a much lower flame so it can simmer for about 15 minutes. My chicken is poached. I waited until it was at least room temperature or cooler so that way I don't burn my fingers when I shred it apart. You can use your fingers, you can use a fork. Just want to break it apart. If it's easier for you and you just want to cut it into small pieces, that works too. I just really like having strips of shredded chicken in my soup. And you want about a cup. I like a lot of chicken in my soup. I have organic chicken stock, and it depends on if you want your soup to be more hearty or if you want it more soupy. This is about a quart, so 4 cups, and I love this soup so much, I just want to have a lot extra, so I'm going to use the whole container. Anywhere between 3 or 4 cups is perfect. I'm going to put the lid onto the pot so it can come to a boil, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to show you another trick to make creamed corn. I have organic sweet corn kernels. Sometimes it's hard to find an organic creamed corn, so I have whole kernels and I'm going to turn it into my own creamed corn by putting it into a food processor or blender, and in my case, my magic bullet. I have the entire can with the corn and corn juice, brine, corn water. I don't know. The entire can, everything that's in here. And then we're going to blend, pulverize, crush, cream. Now, if you like more kernels in your soup, of course you can blend less, but if you like it to be really creamy, then blend a little bit more. My chicken stock is starting to boil. And when that happens, or even before, I'm gonna add my creamed corn. I'm usually able to make this soup in about 5 minutes, believe it or not. So it's all about doing a few things at once. Got my creamed corn right in there, and that's gonna come to boil again. What gives this soup its signature flavor is the sesame oil. So some people like more, some people like less. I find that 1 teaspoon in this portion is perfect. The shredded chicken goes back in. Then I'm gonna stir all of the ingredients. Next, we're gonna add egg. It's perfectly fine to use the whole egg with the yolk, but I really like how the egg white looks in this soup because you have the yellow from the corn and then you just have the white from the egg white. This is excellent. Exciting. Exquisite. I'm so sorry. I have arrowroot starch as a thickener, and you always want to add this kind of ingredient to water first before you put it directly into the soup so it doesn't clump. So I'm going to add to a 1/2 cup of water 2 tablespoons of arrowroot and give it a mix. If you can't find arrowroot starch, cornstarch is fine, but arrowroot is just a little bit better for you. I have my egg white and I want to beat it as I'm put it into my soup, and then just very slowly break it up. And you'll start to see the egg form in the soup. There we go. And just a little bit more. It's important to keep the soup moving so that you don't end up with big pieces of egg throughout your soup. The egg is forming in the soup and it's almost ready. We just have to thicken it up. Make sure that your cornstarch or arrowroot starch has been stirred right before you pour it in. And you will definitely see your soup thicken right before your eyes, where you can feel it. Be sure to continually stir your soup so that way you don't have any clumps. And finally, a little bit of white pepper. If you don't like spicy, you want to use a little bit less. This is about 1/4 teaspoon. If you like it spicy, then this is perfect. Break that up. I have a tendency to use too much white pepper because I love it, and it's like a surprise visitor because it gets you in the back end. You have your soup and it's delicious, and all of a sudden it's like, ooh.
Got a surprise visitor getting you in the back end.
Stop! Why are you gonna do that? We're ready to eat. If there's any vegetarians in the group, you can always make this without chicken. Finally, we're gonna garnish with some scallions. Sliced on an angle, so pretty. HOIA! And that's how you make chicken sweet corn soup. This recipe serves about 4 if you're making this as an appetizer before other dishes. It's fantastic for 2 people if you just want this as a meal. And if you have someone like my husband around, then he will have a whole pot. Congratulations to myself for a soup well done. HOIA! In this episode, we will be making a chicken sweet corn soup. I should know what I'm making, right? This soup is one of my favorites on a Chinese food item. Nope. I've got a medium-sized pot. That's a pot, right? Exquisite. Exciting. Exciting. Excellent. Oh, for chicken sweet. The name of the recipe again. Wah, 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 wah. And that's how you make chicken sweet corn soup. There's a cat on my foot. If you enjoyed this episode of HOIA Food and Cooking, please like this video and share it with your friends. New videos will be going up each week on my channel, so please subscribe to see the latest delicious, healthy, organic, inspired Asian food recipes. I'd love to hear from you, so please comment below and tell me what you loved about this video, and also what dishes you'd like to see me prepare in the future. HOIA!